Stanislav, can you give us a little overview why you think America is one of the best countries to immigrate? And to be honest with you guys, I'll tell you that I think America is the best country to move. So today we're going to be discussing this topic, and also at the end you will be able to learn how to get a free evaluation of the one visa that I'm going to discuss today, one of the best ways to start your immigration process to the US. Let's go! Hello my dear friends, my name is Stanislav Shamayev. I'm a licensed business immigration and corporate attorney in Miami, Florida. Today we're discussing more philosophical but also practical thing is why the US is the best country to come, what is the best visa to start your immigration way to the US, and also what are the common difficulties that the immigrants are facing when they're coming to this beautiful country. Let's start with a little bit overview of what the US is, and let me tell you, I want to talk about it from the historical standpoint first of all. That means that America is built on immigrants. I mean, Indians were here and they don't play a huge role in today's world. All people who live in the US are immigrants. So that's why the historical context favors people who come here legally. Second of all, economic opportunities, economical standpoint. It's obvious that US is #1 country in the world for the economic opportunities to come and do business, to have a high standard of life, good community around you, and making really good money. And I don't think there is a good argument against that. And number 3 is the cultural diversity. For example, I live in Miami, and I don't think that Americans who were born here, because we're all Americans here, the Americans who were born here, they're not the majority here. A lot of foreigners from all over the world, from Eastern Europe, from Africa, from Caribbean islands, from South America, from Central America. Everybody's mixed together and everybody gets along. This is the best thing, that you may be from a different heritage, from different background, but still people treat you with respect, including foreigners and including the locals, the Americans. And also, let me guys compare the US with other countries. And I have a pretty firm stand on this because I've been living here for almost 20 years. I'm a believer that the US is the only country in the world that will make you American in your first generation. And let me explain. If you try to immigrate to Europe, to France, to Germany, to Switzerland, to England, any other country in Europe, you will never be a part of the culture. Maybe in some circumstances your kids will be the first generation of immigrants who will be treated as equal, but not so in all countries, right? Sometimes it takes 2-3 generations to get to the level where people around you treat you as equal. In the US, you can be equal from day one coming here. The American system is built on tolerance to immigrants, to the new people who come here, and everybody is welcome who come through legal means. Meaning that if you accept the American culture, if you abide by law, then the people who surround you, the government, everybody involved will treat you as an American. And of course, your kids will become Americans. Okay, so I think this is the only country that provides this opportunity, and with that comes everything else. Now, let me tell you, what is the best way to come to the States and start your immigration process? There are a bunch of visas and a bunch of ways how to do that, and again, I'm talking about the legal means. And Visa 01, the talent visa, is one of the greatest ways to start your journey here. I know a lot of you is going to be like, oh God, all right, talent visa, I'm not talented. You don't know. And why you don't know? Because the talent in the US has a measure. That measure is the criteria, 8 criteria for O1 visa, for O1A and 6 for O1B. Your talent is measured by criteria, okay? What criteria we have? We have awards, we have press about you, professional associations, you judging the work of other professionals, contribution in the industry. your critical leading role in a company with a high reputation, commercial success, and the 8th one, scientific academic articles. We need to satisfy at least 3 of them. I like to file with 5 because some of them are pretty subjective. Immigration officer may dislike 1 or 2, but we're still going through with that. And some of you who are more intermediate or advanced for the purpose of this video are gonna say, okay, Stanislav, there is one more thing you're missing out, is the employer. And you're correct. If you thought so, you're correct. You must have an employer in the US who is gonna sponsor you. And sponsor means signing a petition. Okay, give you a job offer and sign the petition. But if you don't have one, you may start your own business, register a company who will play a role of your employer. And you don't have to capitalize this company. You don't have to do anything special about it. But this is the way that a lot of people do. So they have their own company that plays a role of employer. We file a petition with 5 criteria and we get an approval. And for 3 years, you have the right to work and live in the US. And of course, within 3 years, a lot of things may happen. You can build your case for EB-1A for the green card or for EB-2NIW, National Interest Waiver green card. You may find a company who wants to sponsor you for classic work visas, which are EB-2 and EB-3. All right, and some of you have a lot of budget, have $1 million or more, you want to create a big business, we may help you with the EB-5 program. Now, if you guys want to know if you qualify for O1 visa, if it's good enough for you, you may get a free evaluation. The free evaluation is the link below this video. You click on it, you open the questionnaire, you fill it out. Within 2 days, I'm going to get back to you and tell you which visa is good for you, which options you have, which criteria you satisfy, and whether you have a potential for getting your visa approved within the next 6 months. Okay, so don't miss out, the free evaluation is below this video. Now, let me address the common concepts of why people are scared to come to the US and change their life forever. And I have a bunch of things to tell you guys, but I think the background for all of my answers, and pretty much I could use that answer for any of them, for any fear, is that you don't do it for yourself. And some of you may get O1 visa, L1, E2. Some of you are good enough to get EB-1A or EB-2NIW to get the green cards. But I'm a firm believer that you guys are not doing this for yourself. You are doing it for your future generations. So your kids, grandkids, and everybody else, okay? Because if you can get a talent visa or a business visa, in my opinion, you already achieved certain things in your life. You definitely have recognition. You have the status in your country, because without that, it's impossible to get any visa, okay? So maybe you have property, a big family, whatever that is. The bottom line is that you already achieved, and you don't really need as much as your kids do, okay? But when you come here, bring your kids, they become Americans. They will have all these opportunities. They will have a better life. They will have the good education, good medicine, and things like that. But let's go one by one and try to address me as an immigrant who came through all the fears, who went through all the difficulties of immigration process, because I started here in the US with 2 jobs. As a pizza trash guy, that's the person who collects the trash in the pizzeria because it's busy and nobody has time for that. And the second one is cleaning the rooms. You guys looking at me right now. I don't say I have a success story, but I do have an American dream story, okay? So let's go one by one. Number 1, difficulty of immigration process. Nobody said it would be easy. But if you work with professionals and you have a process, and when the team guides you and you have all the resources to help with all the paperwork, all the procedures, that one is out of the picture. Number 2, fear of rejection, or as a result of that, deportation. Again, kind of similar with the first one. It's there's no guarantee that everybody's petition is going to be approved. Okay, we have more than 90% approval rates, but again, there are 5% for this visa, 10% for that, 7 for this, 1 for that. There are denials because those visas are very subjective for the immigration officer to see. Yes, that fear is present and it's adequate fear. However, if you have more than 90% approval rate for the petition for your case that I approved in the beginning, starting with a free evaluation, I mean, that fear has a very low chance of going through. Number 3, job competition and employment. This one is, I think, very funny because the reason why the states are bringing a lot of people in, and you guys know the Biden's policy is open border, just bringing a lot of illegal immigrants basically, is because there is a lack of labor force. And of course, labor force is different because there is like basic things like clean the room, cut the grass, and do the garden things, okay? And there are like high-ranking things for engineers, IT, and business, and education. So all of those sectors need people. When you come from a different country with the ethics, with the motivation, with the will and desire to prove yourself and everybody else here that you can, that you're good at what you do. I mean, unemployment and those kind of issues, they don't really matter. You will get a job. Cultural assimilation, cultural differences. Most of you, when you come, are gonna be surrounded by people from your culture. And of course, I do recommend you study English, and you study it before coming to the US. Just for that same reason, because if you don't study it, you're going to be surrounded by people who speak your language and you will not be able to assimilate as fast. But also the American culture is built that way that it makes it really easy for you to transition from your other country to here in the US and feel comfortable and feel that America wants you. Number 5, financial challenges. And this one, this one is on you guys. I mean, when you come to the States, you need the budget, okay? You need to pay attorney, you need to pay for the transferring your family here, and starting the new life, buying a car, renting an apartment, or buying an apartment. So of course, you need to have a budget to come here. If you guys want to know about myself, I came here with nothing, okay? I was 20 years old, I didn't have no money, I didn't have no connection. All I had is desire to be here and stay here and make my life out of what I can. Trust me, it's possible, okay? I understand that when you come with a family, it's much more difficult. But again, if you come with a family, that means you're older than I was when I came here, so you have some resources and some assets. You need to have enough to come and have reserves for 6 months, maybe for 12 months to go without working, okay? And once you're here, you will be able to find a job, and your spouse will be able to find a job. So that one is really a concern, but this one is going to be resolved as well. Healthcare and education costs. Healthcare is really expensive here, but you need to have a health insurance. Once you guys have a health insurance, which is not cheap, but it's going to be a lot cheaper to have an insurance for your family rather than paying for the doctor visits. Insurance is going to take care of that. The education cost is not a problem whatsoever because I didn't have money, but I got my education here. And the system here works as follows. You can borrow the money from the government and they will give you the money. They don't care about your credit score and things like that. As long as you have the documents, they will give you the loans and they give you the money to live while you go into school. And then they create you the good terms of paying that back, okay? So I've done that. Everybody I know have done that. So you will be able to do this as well. Uncertain political climate. And I understand that a lot of you still fear that Republicans may come, or some of you think that if Democrats stay in power, it's going to be a problem. Nothing is going to change with legal immigration. Regardless if Trump is in power, if Biden stays, God forbid, the immigration system is going to be the same. It's not going to change. Language barrier. I kind of addressed this already. Guys, study English before coming here. Because if you don't do that, you will not be able to go to school here and study English and try to find American friends, you're not gonna do this, okay? You're gonna be talking to your comrades from your country, and this is gonna be really bad. So study English before. Social support network, the 9th one. I understand you guys live in your country where you have status and friends and connections and everything is taken care of, and here you come anew. But again, you're doing it for your kids, not for yourself. And also, you'll find a social network. People are really friendly in the US, and the government actually wants to help. All right, this is a huge difference. So government is really doing what it needs to do, and that way you don't need as many connections as you had in your country, because things are getting resolutions through the democratic means, through the government, through going to the government office, the state office. Yes, it's going to be hard in the beginning, but as time progresses, you will find those connections, and you will find out that the American system really works to support the new immigrants. And the last one, not least, access to opportunities. Again, I understand that fear that, oh my God, I'm a foreigner, I speak with an accent, I'm not going to be treated equally. This is not true, guys. I've been immigrant since forever. I'm still kind of immigrant in the eyes of some Americans because, you know, yes, I speak English, I'm a lawyer, but if you meet new people and they don't know nothing about you, they may assume things, but it never stopped me from getting things that I wanted. Getting education, getting jobs, getting internships, working for a federal judge. You know, the federal judges, they're really strict and they want to see good people and educated people and smart people working for them. For them, it doesn't matter if you have an accent or whatever. They look at the content, okay? Just like Stanislav has the best content among other immigration attorneys, just if you have a good content in your resume, and if you're hardworking, if you want to achieve things, you will be able to do this. All right, guys, so I want you to get a free evaluation for O1 visa. I believe this visa is the best among the existing for you to come here and start working on your American dream. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel, smash that like button, comment and write questions. All the links to my other social media are below this video. My name is Stanislav Shamayev. I'm a lawyer of the future. Your future begins here. Good luck.